Harris and Trump showed up after we left. I think he was following.
Yeah.
Sorry, good excuse.
They might be
That makes
tapping
me
you for
nervous.
something.
Makes me nervous.
Y'all ready?
Yep.
Okay. As chairman of the associated committee, I'm calling the public hearing to order. Subject to the public hearing is the appointment of Olga Stravinsky, retired and returning to work as part-time clerk of council with a yearly salary being $21,049.72 and no benefits except for sick time and other benefits as required by law and mandatory contributions by the city of Amherst to PERS. We will have this public hearing until
A minute, or it doesn't matter.
7:03. If anyone in the audience wants to say anything, please do. Yes.
Do we have a mechanism to calculate the sick time for a salary employee?
I don't know.
I can answer the question that when I did retire, I was eligible for some sick time. I did receive a check from the city. I don't know how it was calculated by Gwen in your office.
Oh, will it be Dave's office? I'm just talking about, I guess, going forward, what it's saying is that there's sick, I mean, maybe, I may be asking a really ignorant question, I apologize if I am. But I just want to make sure that we have a mechanism to do that. You know, that we don't pass a policy that the finance department might come back and say, how do I do this? That's my concern. If it's a legal mandate.
What are you talking about?
Well, for an example, if it's a yearly salary being $21,049.72, it means that they're an employee exempt from, overtime and those sorts of things. So
Right.
it's not really an hourly rate. It's an annual salary. And so if you're calculating sick time, on what basis are you calculating that time? I'm not saying that there isn't an answer for it. When I did a little bit of research on it, it looks like there had to be some kind of a policy in place, is my understanding, in order to do that. I just want to make sure everyone's kind of checked that box off before we send this somewhere that they can kick back to you.
Which I was under the impression you just got, you get 2 weeks or something like that for the year?
There is a formula, and there's other part-time employees that get paid sick time, and Gwen has those policies. It's 4.6 hours for every 40 hours you work, so you do the math, the amount of time you work divided by your salary. So Gwen does that for other employees, and I'm assuming this would be the same.
Okay. Mr. Miller?
Mayor, answer the
PERS
question I
has
was
got
going to ask.
something different.
Or if you can repeat that, what is it for part-time?
It's by state statute, 4.6 hours of sick time for every 40 hours work, or every 80. It's either 80 or 40. It's 4.6 hours, I know is the number, and Gwen has the numbers. Sick time calculation.
Yeah, maybe you could get with her, get with Gwen.
Yeah, I mean, I brought it up because last time I was in the office, I was asked that question. I didn't really have an answer for it. So I hope, that someone had talked to Dave Kukuka's office about it. It's really, his, it's really his issue. He's not here, so I wanted to kind of bring it up because I didn't know if anybody really had thought about that. And I'm not sure. It's really, I suppose, something that's
It's been thought.
okay. If it's,
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring
Like
it
I
up.
said, when I retired before, I was eligible for a sick time check. And I don't know how it was calculated. I didn't question it. I just cashed a check and I was happy. And that was Gwen that was here. And I know she knows all the logistics very well.
Okay.
And I think the public hearings for the benefit of OPERS, and it only pertains to OPERS benefits, whether the employee or the city's paying those benefits or OPERS paying those benefits. I don't think Stravinsky receives any health benefits from OPERS at this point, so the public hearing is really a moot point, but it's still just a piece of the puzzle you have to go through. Doesn't do anything with the typical benefits that receive the city employees.
And speaking of the piece of the puzzle that needs to go through, we're now done. If there are no more comments from the audience, I will close the public hearing.
7:03.
7:03.
The August 24th special meeting of the Amherst City Council will come to order at 7:04. Roll call, please.
Mr. Winarski?
Here.
Mr. Dembinski?
Here.
Mr. Miller?
Present.
Mr. Janik?
Here.
Mr. Goodell? Mr. Van Turen?
Here.
Mrs. Vasilk?
Here.
Mr. Winarski.
I'd like to ask that we excuse Mr. Goodell and Mr. Kukuka. They notified us in writing.
Thank you. Mr. Miller?
Second.
Motion is second on the floor to excuse Mr. Goodell and Mr. Kakuka from tonight's meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, they're excused. Move on to item 1, roll call by, item 2, prayer by Chaplain Vasilk and remain standing for the pledge of flag by Sergeant at Arms Dembinski.
Will you bow with me, please? Gracious God, bless this meeting tonight. Guide us and protect us. Tonight we ask a special blessing on Councilman Dave Goodell. Bless him and his family and hold them in the palm of your hand. We also ask a special blessing on our returning clerk of council, Olga Savinsky. Bless her as she helps us. And now we ask that you bless us all. And now may the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, our rock and our redeemer. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Move on to item 4, acceptance of the letter of resignation from Councilman Goodell.
Want me to read it?
Would you read that, please?
This was to Olga Savinsky, Clerk of Council, City of Amherst. Dear Mrs. Savinsky, I, Dave Goodell, hereby resign from my position as Ward 2 City Councilman for the City of Amherst. This resignation is effective on August 1st, 2017. This is due to an illness in my family that requires my undivided attention. Thank you, David Goodell.
Ms. Vasil.
Move to accept the resignation of Mr. Goodell.
Mr. Dembinski.
Second.
Motion is second on the floor to accept the resignation of Councilman Goodell. Are there any questions or comments? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Winarski?
Yes.
Mr. Dembinski?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Janik?
Yes.
Mr. Van Turen?
Yes.
Mrs. Vasilk?
Yes.
Mr. Goodell is, well, I would like to thank him publicly for all his good duties he's had with the council. So we'll miss him, especially when he comes up and says, time to go home. So we'll move on to item 5, appointment of Olga Savinsky as Clerk of Council. Mr. Van Turen.
Move to appoint Olga Savinsky to Clerk of Council.
Ms. Vasilk.
Second.
Motion is second on the floor to appoint Olga Savinsky as the new Clerk of Council. Any questions or comments? Mr. Pecora.
Just that it's noted that the appointment is 15 days from today.
Okay. Thank you.
Would amend it to say appoint 15 days from today.
Thank you.
And I will change
Okay.
my second.
Motion is amended by Mr. Van Kuren, and second by Ms. Waselk. Take a roll call vote.
Mr. Winarski?
A hearty heck yes.
Mr. Dembinski?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Janik?
Yes.
Mr. Van Turen?
Yes.
Mrs. Vasilk?
Yes.
And there's a wholehearted yes on the floor of council.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Welcome home.
Welcome home.
Motion to adjourn, please. Mr. Janik? Mr. Dembinski?
Second.
Motion and second on the floor to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed are adjourned at 7:08. Congratulations, my dear.
Now, see, we missed an opportunity.
Second time.